Husky football. Brought to you by Seafirst Bank. Expect excellence for all your banking needs at Seafirst. And by the brewers of Mountain Fresh Rainier and Rainier Light. Two great tastes in beer. And Rainier's Western Washington distributors. And by your local Puget Sound Honda dealers, where the quality goes on and on.
Good afternoon. We welcome you to Husky football. I'm Bruce King, along with Husky head football coach Don James. I'm sure most of you know now, Washington 5-0 in the season, defeat Oregon State 19-7 in Corvallis yesterday. But looking at that game, it's nice to win, but I would think you'd be a little concerned about your offense over the fact that you just offensively didn't do very much in that game.
Well, I wasn't sure you'd notice that, Bruce. Well, it's, you know, we know we're going to have tough days on either side of the ball at times. There's going to be times when the opponents will move the ball on our defense, and our offense will have to take over and help out. The key thing, the thing that was most discouraging about our offense is they not only did move the ball, but they had turnovers, and they actually kept Oregon State in the ball game with their own turnovers.
Hugh Millen, 2 of 13 in the first half. Did you think, I guess the obvious question we have to ask, of changing quarterbacks at all at halftime?
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about changing 10 other guys too. You know, it's not a one-man show, and that's the important thing, that guy's got to have some help. And sure, he threw some poor passes, but you don't single him out. You single the other 10 guys out. If you're going to take one, you take all 11.
Oregon State do anything that you didn't expect defensively?
They had a good plan, but they did a lot of things that they've been doing. I think we practiced the defenses that we thought we would get. I think the two problems. Number one is that we let them play an 8-man front against us, and when you do that, you've got to get out and open up and throw. And we had bad field position, and we didn't especially want to do that. So that was probably the major problem in the first half.
Interesting football game, at times frustrating for Washington. We'll have the highlights for you right after. Oregon State in Corvallis. Huskies win the toss. They elect to receive. Long kick. It's going to drive Danny Green about 4 yards deep in the end zone, and he's not going to run that out.
Well, we have a basic rule. If it's around halfway back, you know, we're not going to. That's a 25-yard run to get it out to where they're going to give it to you.
You might as well stay there. Jock Robinson straight ahead for nothing. So 2nd and 10. Come back right with Jock again. This time breaks into the open, and he gets 9.
We come back with a draw play on 2nd down, and it's one of the better block plays of the day.
3rd and 1, and he slips. Now, you were slipping all day. The turf?
It's a new turf, and we just had trouble with it. It was a little damp, but there's really no excuse to fall down time after time, I don't think.
Thane Cleland to kick it away for Washington to Beavers. And Finney's going to be the guy that's going to finally stop him with a pretty good tackle.
Good hit by Rick Finney. It's a 36-yard punt and a 10-yard return.
Oregon State. That's to Beavers to the outside, and you hit him pretty good.
Yeah, real solid there defensively by Jimmy Rogers and Joe Kelly. See Tim Peoples will come up. Number 26 will come in there. And that's what you like to see, the running backs. You like to see them back on their back and not falling forward.
They ran that play most of the day and really didn't gain that much. You defended it very well. Come back here.
They come back with a trap, and they didn't gain much on anything, just like us. Small and Reggie Rogers on that. They come back with a draw, and again, Miamber's there in good shape.
Were you surprised? I thought they might try to throw a little more against you.
Well, they played very conservatively in the first half, and I thought, well, with the score, but it wasn't a bad deal. It was 3-0. I thought they might stay conservative, but they really opened up in the 3rd quarter and started to throw.
Right back to Jock Robinson again. He's the only guy that's touched the football for you. Was that the game plan, just to go to Jock?
Well, we're just trying to get something going here. This is only the 4th play, and
2nd and 10.
Toss sweep. We come back with Jock on an off tackle play for a yard, so we've gained again. This kills an offense. When you gain 1 yard in 2 plays, we're in bad field position, so we don't feel like we can afford to throw. We want to draw, and again, we're not handling anybody.
They're just outplaying at the line of scrimmage. Is that 8-man front? Is that it?
Well, they're primarily in an 8-man front right now. We're going to have to get them out of it. We get a little better field position, we will. Now, Thane Cleland gets a 48-yard punt here, so it's much better hang time, and we got good coverage. Dan Emersy down there, David Toy, and that's pretty good play there. Only a 3-yard return.
So 1st and 10 for Oregon State. This at the Oregon State 40, and Malone, I think gets 3 on the play.
That's their off-tackle play. Small and Holmes make the tackle, and then they go with a kind of a counter sweep. And we're in pretty good shape on it. Rogers and Joe Kelly out there.
3rd and 3 at the 47. Straight ahead, Malone, no gain.
Real solid in there. Again, you can see Kelly and Neamber, and then you'll see Peoples come in again and finish them off. And you get better spots when like I say, when you can knock the ball carrier backward.
4th and 18 at the Oregon State 32. Stemick to kick to Danny Green, and watch what happens. The ball comes loose.
Now, this is just, you can't do this. This just destroys the football team. And, we got seniors, making plays like this, and you know, you've got to control the football. You've got to handle the football. There's just absolutely no excuse from it ever.
The ball just pops out.
It just pops out, and like I say, it doesn't matter how it gets out.
You just can't.
If
You can't
you
make
want to have a good
mistakes
football
if
team,
you're going to be good football.
You can't play that way.
Green to the outside.
Tim Amber out there on the initial part of the tackle. Fred Small also. That's a sprint out.
2nd and 8, 41. First pass for Oregon State down the middle. It is complete to Dixon for 16.
They do a good job of hitting an intermediate zone. You see it's pretty well covered. You know, we got a linebacker underneath and Tim Peoples behind as Jimmy Rogers coming in, but they threaded it in there very well.
1st and 10 for Oregon State at the Washington 25. Green. Now he's going to get a yard. It's going to be illegal motion penalty against Oregon State, and you're going to decline that.
You see Joe Kelly in there very strong again. Fred Small. It's play action pass. Fred Small's got good, real good pressure on the quarterback, and so it's an incomplete pass.
3rd and 9 out to 24. Oh, that's Green. No gain.
Yeah, they're going to go with just an off-tackle play. You see Ron Hadley now getting some playing time after he's been out for 3 or 4 weeks. Lewis and Alvord also. Just a extremely well-played play defensively.
Green comes in to attempt a field goal. The kick is up. Just going to miss. I guess what, on the left? Is that where he missed?
Yeah, a little bit left, and really dodged the bullet, because you know what those 3 points would have done to that score, especially in the fourth quarter when it was 7-9.
Oh, absolutely. Hunt up the middle for only 2.
Just destroys the offense. First down play with a run, 1 or 2 yards.
Back to throw.
Come back with a good call, and we've got fullback wide open, and we can't execute it. And again, that's you know, we don't have a lot of pressure on the quarterback, so that's just a very poor play on our part.
Millen back to throw again. This time to Patterson, right on target, good for 18 yards.
Well, he can right back with a corner route and do a good job. You know, so it's you know, they're not all bad. There's an excellent route by Mark and a good throw by Hugh.
1st and 10 at the 44. Jock Robinson running into a lot of people is going to lose a couple of yards.
Well, this is one of the things they did. They ran a lot of blitzes on running downs, and we let them in the backfield. So again, it kind of destroys your offense.
2nd and 12. That's complete to Danny Green. That's good for 12 yards.
And that's what you have to do against the blitz. You know, you've got people coming upfield. You've got man-to-man coverage. You've got to find your good receivers and get them the football. That's a good job here.
So 3rd and a yard. Millen's just going to keep it and dive straight ahead and get the first down for you. So the drive's still alive, and you have first down now at the Oregon State 45.
Come back with a dive play, and it's been a pretty good play for us. You can see Walt Hunt's fighting for everything he's got. He gets 3 yards, though. It's still pretty well stopped up.
2nd and 7 at the 42. Millen.
We come back with this bootleg again, and we've got fullback, same thing, out wide open in the flat, and we can't get the ball to him. You've got to put it on to him. You're right on him. You've got to make him catch the ball. You've got to put it where he can't drop it and not behind it like that.
3rd and 7 at the 42. Millen to throw again. We say he did not have a good first half. Throws long. He threw this just away.
Yeah, that's about all he could do with that one. And, you know, he saved the loss, so you know, we got pretty good field position, and it was no one open.
So 4th and 7. Thane Cleland's going to kick the ball back, and it's going to be down.
Excellent punt
at the 6. Good punt. So at the end of the first quarter, the score 0-0, and I think that surprised a lot of people. I thought they thought that you might be able to, against this team that gave up 41 points against Idaho last week, move down a score.
Well, they really choked off our run, and you know, we had bad field position at the start of the first 2 drives, and once we got a little better field position, we opened up and had some success with the pass, and of course the 3rd down play we missed it.
Your team ready to play? I mean, you talk about mentally. Are they ready to go?
I don't know how you can draw a line down the team. You know, I thought the defense was ready to play. They look pretty good to me. I don't think you can get a better performance than that. But you know, so we had a tougher time on offense. I don't think they were not ready to play or didn't want to play. It's I think sometimes you give Oregon State some credit. They did a pretty good job defensively.
Oh, they did. We'll be back with the second quarter right after. Oregon State with the football. Ricky Green back. Good rush by the Huskies. They drop him for a loss of 7.
We've got a blitz call, and there's Joe Kelly, and Ricky Green doesn't have much of a chance there. You see Tim Amber also finally brings him down. It's a 7-yard loss.
He's got good speed, though, and he's quick.
He's a very good quarterback. He's just fine. He's getting the thing he needs now, experience, and he really took some shots yesterday. I think he probably, you know, if he can hang in there, he'll be pretty good before this year's over. Clipping penalty against Washington is going to drive him back to the Washington 37, and so the Huskies take over there. Walt Hunt up the middle for 4. That penalty really hurt, and it was just you know, one of those very questionable, could have been, could have not, hit him on the side, and we didn't grade the player down, but it cost us so much field position. Now we come back and make this kind of mistake, and we threw an out route and didn't throw it on the break. In other words, as soon as Danny makes his move, the ball's got to be there, and it's about 3 seconds too late. You throw an out route in against man coverage, and that's going to happen every time. It isn't on a break. So that's just another very critical error by our offense.
Mistake by your quarterback. As I said, Hugh Millen did not have the best day, not the best first half. He finally got going in the second half. Oregon State with the football now. Beavers, excellent field position. Guy with a great name playing at Oregon State.
Yeah,
Beavers.
where else could he play?
He couldn't play anywhere else in the country, right?
Yeah. Amber Rogers and Holmes pretty good on that play. And, this were just
good hit.
Guys are really solid. We set up 2nd and 8, and they come back with another sweep, and it's 3rd and 8. That gives a defense just about every advantage.
Trying to throw to Adams, incomplete. So it's 4th and 8. The ball at the Washington 35.
The key thing here is our defense does a great job of bailing us out. We have the big interception, and the defense gets out there and gets them stopped. 3 and out, and then we get a punt that it doesn't go very far.
No, it doesn't. You get a bounce for that. And Cookie Jackson for no gain up the middle. So 2nd and 10
and again, that's the worst thing that can happen in offense is 2nd and 10. And then you come back with a draw, then you got to go to draw plays. And, they got to be reading that, watch draws and screens on 2nd and long, and look for a field position. And this is a real gamble.
Millen throwing deep, it throws long.
And again, we've got Rod Jones out there, but again, Hugh knows he can't gamble. He's got to get the thing high and away. So now we're stuck with another punt. We got a 36-yard punt.
And Oregon State's going to end up with, again, good field position, and here's your defense.
Yeah, it goes back, the 15-yard penalty and the interception. Those two real, we had good field position a second ago.
1st and 10 at the 45, and Ricky Green just misses, throwing him alone.
Yeah, they want to just dump it off. We were in the zone drop, and it was a pretty good play for them. They might have had a chance. Tim Amber right there on a counter sweep, and holds it for a 1-yard gain. Rogers and Lewis on the tackle.
3rd and 9
with Tim
at the Oregon State 46. Green, no receivers, decides to run with it and loses 4.
Yeah, this is Ronnie Holmes, and you see this again. You can see the pressure he puts on, and Tony Lewis there also. And again, this you thank your coverage as well as your rush, because now he fumbles the snap on the punt, stem peck. Rogers gets in there and blocks it. No, just another great turnover by our defense. We had a rush on, so it was the ideal time. A lot of times you have a rush, you won't have the rush on. You got to return on when they drop it. They'll still get it off, but not this time.
Well, he had a mark right up on his, on his neck, I think, where the ball hit him.
Jimmy Rogers?
Yes.
I don't think he really cares.
He just came running through there. Huskies get it now. Excellent field position.
And look at this. Big 1-yard gain by our offense. It just kills you. We're down on the 20-yard line in 4-down territory, and you run 2 plays, and you can't get back to line of scrimmage.
You do it one more time.
So now you've obviously got to throw if you're going to have a chance.
So now it's 3rd and 9.
You don't want to risk an interception because you're in field goal range, and we put the ball right on the guy, and he dropped it.
And almost an interception. Watch this. Jock Robinson, he can't hang on to the ball, and
Yeah, so that's just the way it's going for the offense. But it's not a one-man breakdown. There's 11 out there contributing.
Jeff Jaeger kicks a field goal that I think if he went out and kicked it maybe 20 more times, it might not go through.
Well, he falls down, and you can say it's kind of hard to make him from that position right there.
It certainly is.
But, we're very fortunate here to at least get the field goal out of that.
Slippery turf again? Is that why?
Yeah, it's a new turf, and it's just different. It's like I say, we didn't handle it very well. Now we get a kickoff outside the end zone, and so with the new rule, they get the ball out in the 30. So it's just another mistake on our part.
Oregon State takes over, and that's Beavers running to the outside. Pretty good pursuit.
There was an off-tackle play that jumped outside, and we lost contain. That's one of the few defensive errors we made, but it still was only a 4-yard gain.
Green almost intercepted.
Yeah, they threw the ball right to one of our guys. That's J.C. Pearson, and I think that flash drill that the receiver gave him, it hurts you. It's hard to concentrate on a ball like that. See, Tim Peoples got a good
3rd and 6
hit on Claude Dixon.
Yeah, he did. 3rd and 6, and that's Green for 12 and a 1st down.
It's a good play. They ran the sprint out pass. It's the first time we've seen a lot of that this year, and we break down contain, so Kelly and Small are in on the tackle.
Green's going to keep it again, this time on the option, and pick up 5 yards, as you mentioned.
They had a penalty.
Yeah.
So go 1st and 15. There's their counter pass. We were in man, and Joe Kukowski had it read, so he's right out there with it.
2nd and 13 at the 43. Green throwing over the middle, incomplete. Close to pass interference.
Yeah, simple hook. Tim Hammer had great position. That's the biggest concern when you're that close, is to make sure you don't hit him early. That's good throw and a good catch right there. That's a sprint out. Again, Green puts the ball right on Bynum, and he's pretty well covered by Jimmy Rogers.
Bynum had, 5 catches for 43 yards. That was his longest game.
He's a good player, though. We really worked hard to try and take him out of there and not let him make big plays on us.
Beavers for 4 yards, and he runs through everybody.
Yeah, Rogers and Vesey Jackson on the tackle.
2nd and 6, and the ball's knocked away.
And this was a play that could have been a completion, but Ron Holmes just did a great job, just getting up there and batting it down.
3rd and 6 now at the 36. Green in trouble, and everybody's there.
Well, it's, you know, that really helps. You get that kind of pressure on the quarterback. It's Fred Small, and you can see Ron Hadley, Ron Holmes, not much chance for them to have success on that play.
4th and 14. Now Nielsen is in to kick for Oregon State because the punter was hurt when the punt was blocked by Rogers, so Nielsen kicks it into the end zone. So Washington will take over 1st and 10 at the 20.
Well, we're going to go with a little toss sweep again, and we finally get inside and outside on it. They had they did a lot of strong safety crashes on us, and Finney got 2 blocks, and maybe that's why we gained some yards, because we had one guy that finally got 2 blocks.
2nd and 1. Finney up the middle, gets the ball, and a 1st down. So 1st and 10 for Washington now at their own 33, and here comes Millen.
Well, they've got things pretty well covered, and so he just, you know, wisely takes the ball and runs. We do lose a couple yards, but it's still better than throwing an interception.
And that's what he should do in a situation
yeah,
like
in
this.
a case like this, yeah.
2nd and 12 at the 31. Millen again, back to throw. And
pretty good protection. Didn't have much there, and you know, where he threw it was a safe place. We didn't have much chance to catch it, but they didn't either.
3rd and 12. Millen again. Throw. This is a bad pass.
It was a very critical error right here.
Almost
I thought he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but he couldn't get enough on it, and brought it right down in the field of play, and that he just can't do that.
Now you have penalty against you, so it's 4th and 17, and Thane Cleland's going to kick it. Fair catch by Beavers, and they'll take over 1st and 10. Excellent field position again at the 41. Time running on
33-yard punt. And they elect
That's a good
to run a draw and not to, you know, not to throw it right here. And that's you can see Steve Albert is upfield, gets a good pop on the ball carrier. Now they're going to throw.
2nd and 12. Green again, throwing, and that's going to be tipped.
About the most time they had all day, but again, tipped by Steve Albert. And, you know, our people up front with, you know, Holmes and Albert are pretty tall.
3rd and 12 at the 39. Green, and again, no place to go.
Another sack by Fred Small. That's, you know, a 3-yard loss.
So your defense playing very
just outstanding. And you, like I say, it's a good rush, and you got to give the credit to everybody. You know, we got good coverage, and that's why you get the sack. But another punt rush on almost get this one.
And Danny Green's going to let the ball bounce, and that was really about it in the first half. Halftime, 3-0. As you're walking up there to the dressing room, what in the world are you thinking? You're going to lead 3-0.
Well, bad thoughts. You know, how are we going to get the offense going, number one, and you know, defense going along pretty good.
We'll talk about that. Have our halftime feature right after this.
Win at the previous 4 games like they were packed-in games. We prepared just as hard for them and try to win them just as hard. So the only difference this week is we got to realize that it is a conference game, and you know, we could have lost our first 4 games and gone undefeated the rest of the season and go to the Rose Bowl like UCLA did last year. So we've got to understand that, you know, now is when it starts. Even though we're 4-0, it's kind of a new slate. We're at 0-0 now.
Tim Meamber came to Washington from Wairika, California, where he was team MVP, all leagues, and all Northern Cal. There were opportunities to play closer to home, but he wanted the Pac-10.
I'd never even known a college football player, let alone, you know, been to a university and actually known somebody that's played. So I came up here kind of wondering, you know, wow, I'm going against all these big guys. I'm not even good enough to be here, you know. But as time wore on, you realize you're good enough to be there, and then you want to be good enough to start, and then your goals just grow as you get there. But I had my doubts when I first got here.
Since he got here, the Huskies have been to the Rose Bowl and to the Aloha Bowl twice. He's hoping for one more trip to Pasadena before he's through. Wherever Tim and his team play, no matter how they play, Meamber always can say, somebody up there likes me. His father, John, flies to nearly every game, sometimes takes along a buddy, in this case, one of Tim's old high school coaches. Dad played college football at Oklahoma. A neck injury ended his career prematurely. Now it's Tim's show, though the old man admits he wasn't sure Junior would be a big man on this campus.
I think we both had doubts as far as a program as good as University of Washington. We've got a little doubt. It's different than, say, Chico State or, you know, the smaller leagues. I didn't have any doubt he could play JC or for some of the smaller teams, but I had some doubts, I'll be honest, about Washington.
Just the fact that he loves football so much, and it's carried on to me in my youth growing up. I mean, his best friends were all football coaches and at my high school, so I grew up into the influence of football, and it was kind of the thing for me to make them happy was to do good in it and excel, and I'm happy that I've been able to do that. It's been fun.
We've always been very close. So that's probably why the main reason I'm making a point to show up each week.
We were like best friends. I mean, father, son, but then we're best friends too. Our goals are similar. We want to go into business together after my career's over here. And it's nice just knowing that he's on my side and there every time.
Tim Meamber, what a football player he is. Injured his knee. How is he physically now?
Well, we're really not sure right now. We're going to have to take a look and see how he will respond. He's got some soreness, and it's one of those injuries that could be 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks.
You're not sure. You won't know until later.
No, I think we're going to. Tim has got such great work habits. If the trainer thought it was 3 weeks, Tim would make it 2. It's the way he is.
Quickly, what do you do at halftime? What did you tell your group at halftime?
Well, the offensive staff had the idea they want to go in and start screaming at the offensive player. I said, hey, that's not going to help. They need help. We need to get some plays. We need to get some blocking adjustments, and we need to help them out there. And we need to throw the ball better. We need to get Oregon State out of an 8-man front. And so our approach was to try and help and see if we could play a little better offense.
We'll be back with the changes in that third quarter right after this. Huskies will kick it off to Oregon State. Washington leading by a score of 3-0, and not the position you really wanted to be in.
No, we'd like to have gotten this thing out of reach a little bit quicker. And that's a good play by Alan James. They had a good kickoff return scheme, and you'll see in a few minutes they'll hurt us.
1st and 10 now at the Oregon State 18. Beavers. He's going to pitch to the outside for 2. Did they change anything?
Picked up about 2. I don't know that they had any major changes. I think everything we saw in the second half we saw in the first. This was a good play on their part. We had a strong safety blitz on, and they threw out in the flat where we had an outside backer coming off.
That was good for 9 yards and a first down. 1st and 10 at the 29. Ricky Green, option, throws, and it's too high.
The big thing they did more is they started off right away of throwing. They've got fairly decent field position, and they didn't throw much at all. They had a chance to get a completion, and we had a chance to get a tip.
Jimmy Rogers has it in his hands, just can't quite get the handle on it.
But, I think, again, you have to recognize that they had it first. They had a chance for a perfect completion.
3rd and 10 at the 29.
You see a lot of sprint outs now. You see the quarterback really on the move. And Vesty Jackson went across the front. I thought maybe he'd get his hand on it. He did, too. But a good completion to Claude Dixon.
Good for 11 yards and a first down. Beavers on the move. 1st and 10 at the 40. Ooh.
They ran an option, and Holmes was able to get upfield, so that he took the quarterback, and of course, Reggie was there to get the pitch.
2nd and 15. Green complete to Adams for 19 yards and a first down. The Washington 46.
Really good execution on their part. Our guys were in perfect position, and he just dropped it in there. Sometimes you got to give credit to a little bit to the offense. They came back with a draw, and Lewis and Kurkowski on the tackle.
2nd and 7. The 43. Throwing. He's going to be picked off by Vesty Jackson.
And this is what all that pressure will eventually do normally to a quarterback. You keep getting upfield in his face, and he's going to. Well, you can see Reggie Rogers got to throw over Reggie. Mm-hmm. And there's Vesty Jackson making an excellent interception. Gets about an 8-yard return. So again, our offense now will go on the field with excellent field position.
The defense putting you in a position to score again.
Put it right in midfield on our own 43.
Hugh Millen?
This was one of the things we want to do is they're in a 3 deep, so we want to get them off of the base part of our formation. And that's one way to do it. We pick up about 7 yards.
2nd and 3 at midfield. Fenney straight ahead for 4 to first down.
You see you have an advantage when you get 2nd and 3s. It's 2nd and 9 versus 2nd and 3. It's incredible. Play calling is so much different.
Go to the outside. To Patterson.
Patterson does a great job here on his own individual effort and get an excellent 28-yard gain here.
You get a chance to look at it again. Millen to the outside to Patterson. He had 4 catches in the game yesterday.
And another first down pass. Again, trying to get them out of that 8-man front on first down.
Picks up 28 yards, as you'd mentioned. Washington has the ball. 1st and 10 now. Excellent field position at the Oregon State 18. Robinson for no gain.
And again, it's blocked well enough to gain at least 3. I don't care what it is. The running back's got to get 3 at least and play block that well. We come back now with we're behind the 8 ball. We get 3 yards in this play. So if we had 3 in the first, we'd still have a chance. Now we have to throw.
3rd and 10. This is at the 15. Millen throwing to Patterson, incomplete.
I had Mark. Mark just had about a half a step on his man, number 15 there, but this is the one that Hughes got to throw in there. We could have had a touchdown pass there.
Jaeger kicks the field goal, so you get 3 more, and it's 6-0 in favor of Washington, as you see, early in the third quarter.
Well, you can see the way our defense is playing. We felt like we got to get 3s. The next one's going to be really important. Now, we kicked the field goal, or the kickoff there out of the end zone, and you know, it's amazing. When he went out on the field, that flag was blowing against him, the wind, and it turned around and went the other way. Within 15 seconds. Yeah.
He kept pounding his head, I know.
Yeah. Well, you know, he almost had to look at the flag, see which way the wind was blowing before each kick. Now, there's a toss sweep for no gain. Kelly on the tackle.
2nd and 10 at the 30.
Jimmy Rogers also there.
Beavers again.
On the sweep back
Watch
the other
hit.
way.
Boom.
This is a good hit by Jimmy Rogers. Gets his helmet right on the football. And you can see his helmet's in front, helmet right on the ball, explode through there, knock it out. And now you can see Vesti Jackson does a great job of securing that. You know, I think the press box, according to this play-by-play, they thought it was out of bounds. And
that's right.
Official was right on it. And it was,
fumbles out of bounds, but officials say Vesti got it.
It was well judged and well played by Vesti. There's a turn-in route, and again, with that flash throw I'm talking about, when hands go in front of it, it makes it a little harder to catch the ball.
Jock Robinson loses 2.
This is not very productive here. You can see the people in our backfield. You know, there's 4 of them back there. That means some guys are not blocking very well.
What do you do to correct that this week now? I guess that's the big thing.
Well, we're going to get the film study today, and we're going to get a lot of work in this week, and we're going to have to get better, or we're going to be in deep trouble.
That's Millen to Green for 5. And so Jaeger's going to have to come in.
Sets up 47-yard field goal, and Jeff knocks it through there. That's
a good kick.
That is an important 3 points right there.
It really is. Yeah, that becomes very, very important.
Now, 1 touchdown's not going to beat us, and the way our defense is playing, and unless we turn the ball over, it's going to be hard for them to score. Now, they do get a good kickoff here. They blocked it well. We thought we had things corrected the way we knew what they were going to do. They just did a better job than we did.
Green, back to pass. No one there, and here comes the rush again.
Well, their tailback went the wrong way, and so Green, you know, can't do much, but they're going to get a 15-yard penalty on us.
Joe Kurkowski coming down. Is that a late hit?
Yeah, the guy's down, you can't hit him. You know,
it's as simple as that.
Simple rule. The whistle doesn't stop the play.
Ball moves to the 43. 1st and 10 for Oregon State. Green to Beavers for 10 yards.
They pop a pretty good draw play in there, and Tim Peoples makes the tackle. But that, you know, when you give a team a lift for that 15-yard penalty, Ron Milas came back and made a great play on the pass. That was that pass they completed a little while ago, that intermediate deep corner.
2nd and 10 at the 47. Green's going to be hit for a loss again.
That's this Ron Hadley. He loses 4. But you can see there's got to be good coverage downfield, and there's pressure up in his face. And that's the way to play pass defense.
If you like defense, you love this game.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people playing good defense. 3rd and 14. Going to the outside. That was almost intercepted.
Yeah, almost intercepted. Receiver did a good job of breaking it up.
So on 4th and 14, Nielsen in to kick. And it's going to be fair catch by Danny Green back at the 16. Huskies will put it in play there. Leading
37-yard kick.
9-0.
But it's a little difficult to run a lot of offense, again, when you're backed up like this. So we'd like to get out and throw, but we run the sweep, pick up 2.
2nd and 8 at the 18. Walt Hunt fights his way for 9 yards and a 1st down.
Well, we actually blow that in the backfield. Could have been critical. You know, those are the kind of plays you fumble, and but just you know, we're lucky. And there we come back with the kind of a bootleg type play.
10 yards and a 1st down. You called timeout 2 times in a row on this.
That's because our offense could not line up right. It was incredible. And we couldn't get the formation right, couldn't get the play right, and it was just typical of the offensive day. And you know, you talk about how you play, how you practice, and that's how they look last win.
Boom.
And that right there, that's how they look too.
Last win, you got that feeling even going into the game. That
usually, you know, Tuesday's a tough day. You got game plan changes, and now we don't have all day down here. You know, Hughes can't expect that. He's got to throw on the break or throw the ball out of bounds or run, do something. But he can't stand there with the ball out there like that.
Oregon State takes it over. 1st and 10 at the Washington 29. That's Beavers for a couple. 2nd and 8 at the 27. Green.
Now we missed a tackle here on Bynum, and then we get a face mask call. So again, it's you know, things are not going to go well here, and then we're still going to almost get out of it. There's a quarterback draw. It's a good game, but I'll tell you one thing. Peoples really pops the quarterback.
Oh, he does. Watch this again. Watch Peoples on the right side.
He got up slow, but he shouldn't put his head down like that.
No,
it's dangerous.
Yeah. Anyway, 1st and 10 now at the Washington 10.
Want to go to the quick pass again, but you know, the pressure keeps adding up.
Well, that's 2nd and 2, I should say. 3rd and 2 now at the 10.
very well played by our defense. You want to run a quick sweep and meander small people's all out there.
Okay, here comes the fake field goal. Watch this. Pitch to the outside, and he's going to get the first down. Boom.
Well, we've seen that. We worked on it every day this week, and we played it sloppily. Well, we'll get out there. They're not going to run the play.
They wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that. So we got guys that are milling around. They're not lined up where they're supposed to be. And because of it, we also get somebody hurt. We get Meander hurt on this play.
And that could really hurt down the line if he's out a couple of weeks or a week.
There's an option play off of a tight power I formation. Good play by Ricky Green on their part. We have one player missed a tackle. We got a player right there, one-on-one, missed tackle,
right there.
Touchdown. Jimmy Rogers does a good job of coming around trying to help.
Now, Oregon State's right back in the football game.
I guess 7-9. I guess they are.
They really are. And scored 9-7. Time running out, as you see in the third quarter, and the crowd becomes a factor now. They are 40,000 there.
Yeah, they're fired up,
and they really are.
And they've got a lot to cheer about, a lot to be proud of. The way their guys are playing. They're playing hard, and
there's Mo Hill with the return to the Washington 22, and the Huskies will put it in play there.
Again, not a great play. One of the key men in our wedge fell down again, so we don't get it out very far. We run a sweep, and we pick up 5 yards, and that's not a bad first down play.
This drive is as good a drive you had in the game.
Yeah,
Jock Robinson,
the only drive we had in the game.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but that's true.
There's an off-tackle play, and we get some good blocks. We get some guys that they look like they want to play and block the right guy and really work at it.
1st and 10 at the 34. Fenney for only 2.
Now, that's not a good first down play, but at least 2-yard gain is better than 0 or a yard loss.
You saw a lot of those. 2nd and 8 at the 36. Mellon back to throw to Danny Green.
Got Danny on a corner out route, and it's good execution here. He's got to throw it in there, and he drops it in. Good job. That's a 15-yard play.
So 1st and 10. Danny Green wanted to stay in bounds.
Yeah.
To break something. 1st and 10 now at the 49. And Fenney up the middle again. Only 1.
It just kills the offense. Puts now all the pressure right back on the pass.
2nd and 9. Mellon back to throw. And he's going to be hit just as he throws the ball.
We did a poor job protecting. Had 2 men on that one rusher, and we couldn't block him.
3rd and 9 at the 48. Mellon again throwing. Important play to Roten to keep the drive alive.
It's really a big play, and Tony's coming all the way across the field, and he just barely gets the first down.
So 1st and 10 on the final play of third quarter, and no gain by Fenney up the middle. And that's the way it's been going, but you lead by a score of 9-7. You still have the football here to start the fourth quarter.
Well, we're in good field position, too, and we know that we at least have to get 3 points out of this drive.
We'll be back with fourth quarter.
Right after.
2nd and 10 at the Oregon State 38, and look at this. Mellon steps up and throws to Mark Patterson for a touchdown.
Well, this is the same play that we scored against Michigan with, and it's really a deep curl route to Danny Green, but Hugh right away read the blitz, and so now he knows he's got Mark Patterson one-on-one with the cornerback, so that's a good judgment on his part, and a good throw.
And you see the flag, that's defensive pass interference, what was called.
And an excellent catch, too. I think I'd say that there's a lot of good things happening on that play. We picked up the rush, and good throw, good catch.
Jagger adds the extra point, and it's 16-7 in favor of Washington. Try an onside kick. Why?
We had a 15-yard penalty, and there's no use kicking it out of the end zone. So if we don't get it, they will normally have the ball around the 30, 35. So we just they're allowed to go in front of the line and go after it like that. But the player missed the ball, so Ron Miles went over and fell on it. So that's just another great turnover.
Now, talk about an excellent opportunity, but watch this. Mellon throws this to Danny Green, good for 4 yards. Now, that's not bad.
Yeah, not a bad first down play.
No. That's the Oregon State 33. Cookie Jackson, left side, no gain.
And that really, now
you're in trouble, yeah. So now it is 3rd and 6. You're going to have to throw.
Puts the ball right on Alonzo Hill, and he's just not able to hang on to it.
So now brings up 4th and 6. And Jagger comes in to attempt a field goal and just missed this one.
He missed it by a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't just miss that one.
He just missed it by a lot. Okay. Bad kick, bad snap.
Well, he didn't get it up there very good.
Just
he's got a lot stronger leg than that. It's
his worst kick of the year. Yeah.
49, 50-yarder.
Yeah, it really was. It's a long kick. Beavers.
Really hit by Joe Keller. We had a blitz on the backside, and he didn't see it. Ron Hadley finally picks up the ball, but that's just another great turnover by our defense.
That's the time you have to get back on the scoreboard again.
That's one of those lookout hits. And just the quarterback has no chance. There's Ron Holmes going for it, but we're pushing in the right direction. Now, Ron shouldn't try to pick it up. He should just try to get on it.
Just try to get on it.
Can't run the ball in college.
It doesn't matter. Just get on the football.
Yeah.
And
so
first play.
We go right there. First play again with the fullback in the middle, and we just get stuffed. It's just an incredible day. 2nd and 9 at the 19. Now we have a good play. We have it really blocked, and our tailback, Jack, falls down. Look at that. There's something wrong every play. You can point out it's a major error, and the offense has a tough time operating like that.
It will be an interesting week of practice this week.
And again, you're pretty well stuck to running a draw because we need a field goal. The way the score is, in the field position of 22, it's important here now to get this thing to 19, and that means they've got to score twice now to beat us.
Jaeger kicks the field goal, as you saw right there, 19-7 Washington, and Jaeger kicks off out of the end zone again, and they get the ball on 30.
Yeah, that's the same thing. The wind turned around at his back, and just a little quick screen to the wide receiver, and he fumbles that ball, but I'm not sure it was a legitimate fumble. But you can see our people are out there on it.
Green, almost intercepted.
Yeah, Joe Krakowski almost had one there. It was just a little overthrown to the halfback check, and it was down at the ankles, so Joe Krakowski couldn't hold it.
3rd and 9, ball knocked down by Ron Holmes.
Yeah,
Holmes had a big ball.
Yeah, really did, and this helped so much. You can see him coming off the ground there. It's just hard to throw over that, and unless the offensive lineman can keep the defensive people's hands down, and you keep them down by blocking them, staying with them, quarterbacks have a difficult time.
Nielsen kicking, 34-yard kick. Ooh, what a hit.
Danny didn't elect a fair catch, 35-yard punt. We'd like to have blocked that guy. We had a man for him. It's a good struggle by Rick Finney to get 3. Not much else there.
Now, do you look at the clock now, leading 19-7?
Yeah, we just run it down, and our offense knows the only way we can lose this ballgame if they foul up. If they do what they did a while ago, turn the ball over, and so we can't afford to.
3rd and 4. You did something here you don't do very often.
Well, let's throw a screen pass, and it's easy to throw if it's not there. We got blocked wide open. I thought we might go for the distance, but again, we're just not very good today, so we're going to only pick up 13 yards.
1st and 10 at the 47.
Come back
for a yard.
Track another first down play for a yard.
2nd and 9 at the 46. Give credit to Oregon State. They just, they were in your face all day. Bad pass.
They read a linebacker crash, and again, if we throw it there, we got a completion. Now we run a draw and fumble.
That was on 3rd and 9.
Again, the only way we can lose this football game is to do things like that.
Is to turn it over and give them excellent field position. Here it is, ball loose. Oregon State's going to fall on the football, get it back. 1st and 10 for Oregon State now at their 45.
So it puts the defense in pressure again. That's where our offense put them all day long.
Throws. That's complete to Adams, as you see, 8 yards.
Sprint out pass, and pretty good job, Ronnie Mollison on the tackle. We've got to drop off now and play a lot of deeper zones. They ran a trap play for 2.
So Malone gets the first down. 1st and 10 now at the 45, the Washington 45.
Bruce Crone made that last tackle.
Green going deep. There's nobody there.
Deep, no one there. We're in pretty good shape. By and large, I think the secondary really had a great day. I think they were in good position most of the day.
2nd and 10 at the 45.
Now we lose contain here, so now the quarterback's out there all day long to throw. And
good catch by Finer.
It's a key completion, 12 yards tackled by people, but it wouldn't have happened if we had contained the quarterback like we're supposed to.
1st and 10. They make that mistake. The ball's still loose. You're going to finally get it back and recover the ball.
This is the option play, and we really are in pretty good shape here. You can see Reggie Rogers just played it very well. And they didn't execute the pitch. There's Jimmy Rogers he's responsible for the pitch man, and you can see Vesty Jackson finally gets over. And that's 2 fumbles that Vesty's recovered, plus an interception. He had a pretty big day.
Oh, he did. Jock Robinson for only a yard, however.
You can see he's got to work hard just to get back to the line of scrimmage. People upfield, and it's all kind of problem.
2nd and 9 at the 34. But it wasn't everybody in the line. You just can't go in and say, okay, the entire line did block.
It wasn't the same guy all the time. There were a lot of times. There's a play that's really blocked well. There's a play we could have cut up inside and made the necessary first down, but we fall. So if it isn't the lineman, it's the back. It's quarterback or receiver or coach. It's one of us every time. Then we get a great punt here. We get a 16-yard punt.
So you keep minting. Well, I'll tell you, you're given every chance in the world to catch it.
Put our defense out there, more pressure.
That's right.
And again, we had that really well played, and Jimmy Rogers fell. So they get a completion, an 11-yard completion. But Jimmy was in good position. I think he'd have been able to break that up.
4 minutes to go in the game. Green, a long pass. This one overthrown.
They go out and up, and their fans really were screaming about our holding one of the receivers. I think that would have been a realistic, legitimate call. But we got away with it. There's a great throw and a catch right there, Claude Dixon. It's a little go route against bump and run coverage.
14 yards, first down to Washington 26. I tell you, they get touchdown and get an onside kick, and it's a whole different game.
They get draw play there. Lewis and Small on the tackle. Sprint out again, and we lost contain again. But fortunately, Green is not able to get the ball.
3rd and 7 at the 23. Green, Ricky Green, throwing.
Going for all of it there against the linebacker. They got us in man coverage and got a back on the linebacker. So it's a pretty good percentage decision by Green.
4th and 7. Green rolling out and overthrows Dixon by about 10 yards. That was not a good. He didn't play that.
Didn't have good leverage again on the quarterback. Probably the best decision for him that time than to run it. We go off tackle now. Again, just please hold on the football and please run the clock down.
Okay. Get it over. 2nd and 8. Here you come again. Robinson for only 2.
Another gigantic 2-yard gain. That's 2 of them in a row, so it's 3rd and 6.
Jock Robinson again. A step away from making more. Gets 3.
That's one of our longer gains, 3 yards.
4th and 3 at the 30.
And
all you needed was a first down.
With a great punt. We got a 25-yard punt. So you can just see where our offense, punt team, not functioning well at all.
We get down to a final series here. Oregon State with the ball. Green throwing to the outside to Dixon for 8 yards.
Again, we're in zone. Joe Kelly,
2nd and 2.
Pearson out there.
47. Going to everything to Bynum. And that's pretty good coverage there.
Yeah, we're in good shape. We got our middle zone, weak safety, 10 people's over there, and our cornerbacks there.
3rd and 2 at the 47.
They had a mix-up. Apparently their fullback didn't know he was getting the ball, and well, that's a disaster there. See, he's not even looking for the football. He thinks it's some other play, and I don't know what the mix-up was. Bo Yates from Lebanon, Oregon.
That's right. He's played some football on that field. He was excited after the game. Well, you win 19-7. Sigh of relief just getting out of there.
Yeah, to win a game when you're having so much trouble on one side of the ball any day is great. I guess a win is great any day also.
Okay, the way things are going in the top 20 teams in the country, you could be number 2 in the country this week.
Yeah, there's no top 20. There's no best teams. There's just a lot of teams out there struggling right now.
We'll be back. Go to the locker room right after. Biggest winner, the best win ever, but this is what the players had to say in the locker room. Listen.
We played all right. We made a lot of mistakes, and that kept them in the ball game. That's why they got their touchdown. We're making mistakes. But they were pretty physical, and we just knew we just had to do the job and get it done.
A real good defensive team, and I think we were missing some people, and I don't know what I mean, it was just a bad day for us.
Disappointing, isn't it, get a situation like that?
Yeah, it's disappointing, but, you know, it was good to see the defense play as well as they did because they saved us today.
Do you feel that offensive line come back and play a little better maybe next week?
I hope so. I mean, I don't think we can play much worse than we did today.
Our offense wasn't, rolling like they should, or just had breakdowns and stuff. So I thought our defense played real well, and we responded to the pressure, and we came out, and that's all we can ask for our defense.
Well, I guess what you look to is the fact that sometimes one side of the ball isn't going to get their act together and really get things going. I think that was the case, and I certainly was right up at the top of the list as far as the offensive ineptitude. I guess the only thing you can do is try and look at one positive aspect might be that we can, go back to work this week, realize that, we got to get a lot better, kind of light a fire under ourselves and work a little harder and not pat ourselves on the back, for the things that had been happening to us.
Offense had a little trouble today. It'd be like that sometimes. We might have a little trouble next week or something. But, the big sacks, I was thinking big plays. I'm just trying to come up with them.
What did you think of Oregon State?
They played us tough, as you can see. They played us real tough. They came out fighting, real aggressive. They didn't give up. They just kept coming right at us.
I wasn't really feeling the pressure on the first couple, but like that 47-yarder, I was getting there a little bit of pressure.
Fun to be in that position where you can put some points on the board and really help a ball club out that can't move offensively?
Oh, it's fun once you put it through. It's a little nerve-wracking while you're walking out on the field and look at it, but it feels really good when you do put it through.
I think that our offense has really come along, and today was just kind of a step backwards. I definitely think we have a long ways to go, and the teams are going to get a little bit tougher each week, and so we've got to really go back to the drawing board and straighten some things out.
Beaver defense really that good?
I think it was just a matter of us not executing right. I think they are a good defense, yes, but we also played a team like Michigan, who's a great defense, and we can move the ball against them. And so, we're going to face a lot tougher teams than the Bears, and so we've got to make some things work.
I feel they're a good football team. They played us tough through the whole game, and I feel, down the road in their future schedule, they're going to give a lot more teams, a tough time.
You ever get worried out there, look at the clock and say, wait a minute?
Oh, yes, through the whole game I was worried, because you never know what could happen. They're an explosive team. They could score at any minute, and, with the offense having problems, we had to get it together and maybe, slow their momentum down a little bit.
You did it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bestie. We'll be back and talk about Stanford right after this. They even knew what you were doing. I mean, they could pick up everything you were doing offensively during the game.
Yeah, I've heard that before by Oregon State players. In the last 10 years, I think we probably averaged about 35 points against them. But the I formation is not a counter offense. It's a full flow offense. In other words, when we hand the ball off to someone or pitch to someone, there's not a lot of question, in 40,000 people's minds, who has the ball. And it's a double team offense, kick out. It's an offense that's designed to get one running back into all holes. So the advantages are, as I mentioned, but the disadvantages are also that usually everybody knows where the ball is and where it's going.
One thing you feel you have to work on this week now you get ready for Stanford. I mean, you go back to that offense and you start talking to them again. What's going to be your concentration?
Well, I think probably the most important thing is we can't let people play an 8-man front against us. If we're on our own 5-yard line, we're probably going to have to open up and throw and make them respect the ability we have in our outside receivers.
Hugh Millen this week now. Do you feel that he maybe grew a little bit with this, a little more experience in a situation where he had a bad game? And
well, I've not ever met the quarterback in my life that didn't go out and struggle. As he was getting into his experience and starting out, it doesn't happen at any level, high school, college, or pro. There's no one that's great, but it's all going to come real easy. There are going to be days that you're going to get strong because of the suffering that you have and the toughness and the pressure that you have, and you live through it and you get better because of it.
I think he said following the game, I couldn't believe it. I really could play that poorly in the first half. Let's go to the scoreboard right now. Pac-10 scores from yesterday. USC defeats Washington State, and they barely defeat Washington State.
Well, Cougars spotted the Trojans with too many points. They came back, though, and played very well.
Stanford upsets, or I guess surprises UCLA more than anything else. That surprised you?
I think that's an upset. I think most people around the country would have picked UCLA to win that.
Also in the Pac-10, Arizona over Oregon. Oregon no longer unbeaten, 28-14.
Well, Oregon won last year, and I think Arizona's got a pretty good club, and they were ready for them this year.
California 19, Arizona State 14.
Big surprise. I think, if you read the papers from the Bay Area last week, they all but had the Bears buried.
Oh, they did.
And they really came back. You have to give them a lot of credit for that win.
Let's look at the schedule coming up. Washington State at UCLA. Big game for UCLA.
Yeah, big game for both teams. Both teams have got a loss now in conference play, and they can't afford another one.
USC at Oregon. That could be an interesting matchup.
Again, Oregon's got their defeat, and they've got to come back and rebound.
Also, coming up this weekend, California at Oregon State.
Well, I believe Oregon State can compete with people, and that'll be an interesting game.
Now, Washington at Stanford, because Arizona and Arizona State both have the week off. Stanford, I remember a couple of years ago, last time you went down there, 7-0, number 1 ranked team in the country. Good chance you go down this time, number 2 ranked team in the country, 5-0. I remember Stanford won.
They're probably the most improved team in our league, and I think Coach Elway's got them going. He's getting the most out of their talent. You can just see that. He's had a couple of great wins. They've beaten the Rose Bowl teams from last year, both Illinois and UCLA, and they're playing inspired football.
John Pay on the sideline, though. The reserve quarterback in there playing for him now?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to see exactly what they did with the new quarterback, but just from the newspaper articles, it sounded like they went to a lot of the short passing game and tried to rely on the ball control and possession-type passes.
Always more pressure when you get in conference now. It doesn't mean anything. Win the next 6 weeks, and a lot of things could happen.
Well, every game counts so much.
Oh, it certainly does. Washington against Stanford. We'll have the highlights for you next week. For Don James, I'm Bruce King. Good afternoon.
Husky football has been brought to you by the brewers of Mountain Fresh Rainier and Rainier Light, 2 great tastes in beer, and Rainier's Western Washington distributors.